All right, everybody, welcome to the Poplar Grove Community Council meeting. Glad you could all make it today. I don't think we really need a mic for in person, but we need a mic for online if you're in person. So we're going to be using this microphone and hopefully it'll keep us loud. If you're in the audience, we have a question or something like that, just make sure you're speaking up and we'll take it from there. Let me just make sure that this is, can all the online people hear us okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Awesome. Well, by way of introduction, again, my name is Daniel Tuutau. I'm the chair of the Poplar Grove Community Council. Today is February 28th, 2024, and we are so glad that you could all be out here and with us today. Sitting next to me is Marissa, who is the secretary. We'd like to also acknowledge some of our board members here. We have Emily, Karen, Dan, Sierra. Is anyone else a board member here? No. Okay. And everyone else, community members and guests, we welcome you both in person and online. By way of note, this meeting is recorded and we do post this on our YouTube channel so that those that can't be here at this time can still tune in later on and see what's going on in our community. We'd like to start off. I don't know if we have, we start off basically with the community council and public agenda items first, and we have a few announcements from the council ourselves, and then we move on to a few presentations that we have going on. So first up is usually, let's make sure we got the next. Okay. Do we have anyone here from the fire department? Online or in person? Well, soon we will. We are on the list to have regular attendees to update us on what they have going on. If they come in a little bit late, we will see about getting back to that. Next up, we have our police and crime report, and I think we have Detective Oliver online.
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Let's start with any questions, concerns. Dan, have we been speeding on 4th South lately?
So we got one question. If you could just speak up loudly.
How many citations were issued for illegal camping along the Jordan River?
Illegal citations for camping along the Jordan River were rough last month because of the Code Blue. So during the Code Blue, we can't do anything for up to 72 hours before the Code Blue, or 72 hours after the Code Blue is initiated. And we had a lot of Code Blues last month. So I can't get you a number for last month, but I can tell you that we have had a lot of activity around the Jordan River Trail in the past 3 weeks. And I can give you some numbers, actually, if you want to hear. Let me see if I can find the numbers here. So on a couple of 3-day ops we did with Highway Patrol, Utah County Sheriffs or Unified, we had, let me pull up the numbers. We had 54 arrests. Hold on, it's here. I just got to get the right stats here. We had 54 arrests. We seized more than $5,000 in cash, over 900 fentanyl pills, 20 grams of cocaine, 5 grams of marijuana, and 6 grams of heroin. And that was just in 3 different days of operations along the Jordan River Trail.
Great, thanks.
Wait, and just follow up. Is it still in Code Blue? Because I looked at the report and it looks like we're not in Code Blue anymore.
So Code Blue was issued, I believe, not yesterday, but the day before. So once that day ends at 72 hours after we can do any citations or that issue, I believe it ends tomorrow morning, I think, is when the final Code Blue, probably for the year, is what I'm thinking. The final Code Blue will be in effect. Now, the Code Blue only affects abatements and citations. So other violations and camping citations, sorry, other violations can still be pursued, whether it's blocking the sidewalk or other issues like that. But it's just the camping issues that we can't enforce during a Code Blue.
Great.
All right.
Dan,
so,
did you have a question?
Officer, stand by. Okay.
You're cutting out. I can't hear you.
Sorry, Oliver. So
That's
I just took my car down to Jiffy Lube, but I found out while I was down there that they will mark your catalytic converters for free, and that's Brian's nodding, yeah. And so that's way cool. That's a real contribution to the community. And then before I could leave, another guy walked up to me and handed me their card. But on the back, he notified me that there's an organization in Los Angeles that has organized homeless people, and they've just moved a new office to Salt Lake City. The name of it is maybe you've heard of it, is Strike Point. Strike Point. So anyway, thanks.
Hey, I'm just curious. What do you mean when they say organized?
It's like herding cats. I don't know.
Okay, yes, and Jiffy Lube is fantastic for that service, and I highly recommend if you go down and get your VIN number etched onto your catalytic converter, it'd be fantastic. All right, real quick, we're gonna go through the numbers. I think I sent out two 2023 crime reports to all the city council chairs. I believe. Did you guys get that by chance?
Yes.
Okay, so if you want to disseminate that and you can look it over for the crime stats for 2023, we won't go through those unless there's any questions on it. But I'll just hit some stats from since we met last in District 2. We had a total of 17 violent crimes that were reported since we last met, and they were all ag assaults, meaning domestic violence and non-domestic violence assaults. So we didn't have any robberies reported in the last 28 days, which is amazing. So those are all down, minus the domestic violence assaults. We are up 2 from previous, and we are up 3 in non-family ag assaults. For the total property crimes, we've had 114 reported since we met last. 1 was a residential burglary. There were 8 other burglaries of outbuildings, garages, and things like that. 23 vehicle burglaries, 59 larcenies or shoplifting type of calls, and then 23 motor vehicle thefts. So believe it or not, we compared to last year, we are still down in that number. We're actually down 64% for total property crimes in District 2. So grand total, we have 131 crimes that were reported in the last 28 days. We are on average, 5-year average of about 197. So that's down 65% from previous. Now we are seeing a huge increase in drugs that we're pulling off the street. We saw in 2024, so in the last 28 days, we've had 93 calls for drugs. That's up 22. So that's up 22% from normal. So we're seeing an increase in drugs, and with the bust that you saw with the fentanyl pills, that's probably where a majority of that is coming from. We've seized 6, almost 7 less weapons in the last 28 days than we have over a 5-year average, and we've seen we're down 14 vandalism calls in the last 28 days in District 2. So overall, we're seeing a trend of crime coming down, but we're still seeing a huge increase in narcotics. So any questions on that or anything else?
Dan, you can just talk loud from.
Hey,
Well, come closer and talk loud.
fine.
I can.
It's like for the 5 wetland preserve, I was on that bridge yesterday or day before yesterday and got assaulted, and I was there to take pictures of wildlife, but all I could see was tents and stuff, right? So we shouldn't allow people to camp on schoolyards, and we probably shouldn't allow people to camp on nature preserves. That's all I got to say.
Agreed, and I believe that 5 wetland is in a slot, I believe either tomorrow or the 1st of next week to be cleaned up.
Where's that gonna be cleaned up?
Sorry, what was the location?
Folsom Trail.
So the Folsom Trail from 1000 west, from 1000 west to the river was cleaned up. There are a couple tents that have moved back in, but last week that was completely clear. They have moved underneath the Archuleta Bridge a little bit, and that's still going to be looked at, but we are seeing the movement to the east. So the paved part of the trail, we are still planning on getting the Heart team out there.
I'll give you just an update on the wetland. I hired a homeless guy on Monday, and we spent 6 hours cleaning up 7 tents. And we also cleaned up two camp spots on the bridge going into the river park. And I first gave them all notice, and then I went back 2 hours later and helped them clean up their tents and picked up all the trash. So you won't get that much in the wetland. But after 2 days, we have 3 more tents in the wetland today. And that's why I know about the code blue, because I called this morning to get dispatch to get them out there to tell them they can't camp in the wetland. Dispatch said they couldn't do anything because code blue. They went back again this afternoon because I thought maybe it had lifted. And this evening, right before I came here, I saw that there was some cleanup of the wetland. But it is trashed. And I don't know if people care, but I'm going to put ribbon around it and put signs that says it's closed for restoration. So if you don't like it, tell me, but I've made some signs and I have do not cross ribbons. And I live right there by the wetlands, so I see it. And every morning I'll walk through there and I'll just call the police every time.
Exactly. And that's what I recommend. Now, a lot of if it's a homeless camp, I would like you to use the app because that goes right to the Heart team and they can get that scheduled. And thank you for the cleanup because when a neighborhood takes over a park and makes it their own is really when we see a huge difference. And so we're seeing that a little bit on the Jordan River Trail, but thank you for doing that in the wetlands. I just highly recommend that app. Just taking a picture of the tent and dropping a pin and sending it to the Heart team will get that Heart team and the cleanup team out there. So, but yeah, if you want to continue calling PD too, we'll also do that part of it. So I thank you.
Great, Xavier.
I had a situation over a month ago where somebody came to my house and they took an item with them, and so I called up and reported that, and the police department said that the laws are written so badly that they wouldn't be able to recover my item or really do anything about it. So is that kind of the case that we're up against? Was if somebody takes something when they visit at your house and you can't do anything about it?
No, not necessarily. If there's an item that you have a serial number or something written down and we have proof of the ownership, that's one way. That's why I recommend bikes. If anybody has a bike, you can get onto the city website or the Salt Lake City Police Department website and register that bike. But if we don't have a registration number or a serial number on an item, we can't prove whose it is. So that's the hard part. Now, if there's also a good description of the individual or a name or anything like that, we have suspect information, then yeah, we can always pursue that. So the big things are the item should be it doesn't necessarily have to be, but we really encourage you to have a serial number or a VIN stamp or something that we can prove that it's yours when we do find it, or if we do find it. And then two, a really good description of the person that came and took it.
Well, I had a description, but they said that even if they confronted the individual and they denied that they took it, they can't go any further than that.
Yeah, if the item itself isn't provable to where the location was at, like a car. So if somebody steals a car and we don't have any information as to who owned that car, then we're not going to be able to get that back to the owner. That's kind of why it's nice to have a car required to have a license. And we wish we could require a vehicle or a tool or something to have some sort of ownership, but we can't. So I just highly recommend you, even if you go through like your tool shed and write down the serial numbers of the tools that you have, I think that's really good in the long run. If someone breaks into there and you have a list of the serial numbers, it's easy for us to track that down through pawn shops. But most people will not have a list of serial numbers for their items, even if it's a small, not so expensive item.
Any other questions before moving on?
No, I just wanted to say thank you for cleaning up the. We saw the red bag, but.
I have more, I'll comment later.
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
give you a better.
Okay. All right. Great. Well, thanks, Detective Oliver.
Yep. Any questions come up, I'll be on.
Great. Chad, did you have anything from fire that you wanted to? No, we didn't see them earlier. Okay. Sure. We got you this great graphic. But if you want to just come a little closer for the microphone.
Right. So is that just a capture off the front page? I like that.
Well, I had to go through your Instagram to get a good one out of there, and I put the logo on there. So
Instagram?
yeah.
X, X is used primarily to notify large incidents going on. Or Facebook and our Instagram posts are sometimes community events, ongoings, like when we have promotions and retirements and that sort of things, and changes in our deployment. For instance, we just signed in some. We swore in some civilians. It's time we've ever sworn somebody in as civilians. They are our chat workers. So they're civilians that work in a manner that for people that are having psychological issues. Maybe they just lost a family member, they're grieving, they want hospital help. Maybe they're feeling suicidal about something else, maybe they're dealing with drug addictions. And so these are social workers that show up. And we swore them in. So that was on our Instagram. Along with that, before I move on, those are the chat notes. That's a community health access team is what chat stands for. And they will be showing up to an event that Charlotte will be talking about in a moment. It's the Homeless Outreach Forum. That's right.
Slide for you later.
Yeah, what?
We have a slide for you later.
Is it the Homeless Outreach Forum? Is that what it's called?
It's homelessness forum. Yeah.
So at least one of our chat members is scheduled and will likely be there. It's not confirmed yet, but I think she's going to be able to make it. Probably the manager. So if you have questions about what they do and how they do it, and hopefully she and her partner will be able to talk with the groups and mingle as a person of the community as well. So all that being said, this month's issue, and I hope if anybody didn't get here last time, we showed how to, if you go to the Salt Lake City website, you can sign up for this newsletter and it'll show up in your inbox every month when we send it out. This is now 27 days old, but it's still pertinent. Basically, I just wanted to outro through this out, which is like, it's about preparing yourself for cardiac emergencies. That was what the fire department is pushing this month. If you were at home tonight, which over 70% of cardiac arrests happens while you're in your own home. If you're at home tonight and your partner or friend had a heart attack, could you deal with it? And what would you do? It's an honest question. You don't need. But if you think about it, and it'll give you a little bit of a stutter step in your stomach. This is what we offer. We teach CPR for free. Anybody can sign up for it. You show up at the Salt Lake City Fire Department, and we will teach you how to do CPR. It's roughly every other month on certain days of the week. But you can go to our website, Salt Lake City Fire, and sign up for those classes, and you can learn to do CPR yourself.
I'm curious. I have a heart condition. How long would it take the fire department usually to arrive at your house if you need defibrillation?
So that's a very good question. Salt Lake City Fire we're a class 1 ISO class 1 department, only one in the state. What that has to do with is many things. One of the things is our response time. So we're about 3 to 5 minutes.
That's good.
That's after you call, right? So first of all, you got to call the phone.
But hey, you got about 8 minutes before you can start suffering brain damage from a defibrillation.
Yeah, and then that all depends on how severe your heart is not functioning, because some heart attacks are partial function and some are full non-function. But Salt Lake City does, I like to tout my own department. We're very progressive. We've made some really good progress as far as what we're doing, our pit crew approach. We use a early epinephrine that helps really move forward. A lot of departments across the country are following what we're doing. We have a super high success rate with cardiac arrests. So take care of yourself. But if we do end up showing, you've got a really good chance, better than anywhere else you're going to be. So back to the thing, if you'd like to take a CPR class with the Salt Lake City Fire Department, it's free. Go to our website to sign up for it. AED was another part of the hit that if you don't know how to use an AED, we also teach that, and that increases more than double your chance of survival with an early AED shot. That's roughly what the fire department's putting out this month. Emergency preparedness, we're talking about canned goods. A couple of months in a row, we've talked about FEMA's push to have month-long preparation, like 72-hour kits and stuff. But just remember, canned goods are excellent for portable. You can move them around. They're very stable. They can last for many years and not deteriorate. They're good things to think about in putting in long-term storage in case you have a major earthquake or whatever is bad's going to happen. But hopefully we don't ever have that happen. Our call volume is amazing. If you want to get all the details on the call volume, it's best to probably gather the newsletter, as I mentioned, off the website. There they go right there. That might be neat. Anyway, a very busy department, but we're always here to serve, and we have a really good, close, tight knit. So it's like Station 6, if they go out on a call, which they do a lot, we're going to have either West High come in over, Ballpark come in, or we're going to have somebody company out from the West. So we're covered really well. That helps keep that ISO Class 1 certification. So that's roughly all I have. Anybody have any questions?
All right. Thank you very much. Awesome. We always have time for our House representatives, but this is the end of the push of the legislative session. So I didn't expect them to be here, but we did make this fun graphic.
Yeah.
So. All right. Next up, we have Alicia with the mayor's report.
Then let me get
She sent us over a PowerPoint that we're going to be loading here as well. And so if you want to just stand on that side and close enough to the mic and be nice and loud. And,
Okay, mic right there?
yeah.
I'll get it. Okay.
Here we go.
Alrighty, so I see the transportation department here. I have 2 slides for the interior department. Do you mind if I pass it on to you so you to present? It's the Viaduct Trail and the 20 miles per hour speed limit reduction campaign. Is that okay? Yeah. Or were you not planning on speaking tonight? Oh.
Yeah, we have a whole bit on the trail part, but
So
the speed limit thing is not.
Okay, we're just
good.
it's just opening.
On for the mayor's office, and I work with districts 2 and 3. Just a quick edit on this on your
Yeah. It's,
Yeah.
said 2 and 4.
Yeah.
2 and 3.
okay.
You're 2 and 3? Okay.
Well, keep us in the loop.
Changing the slide. Just a quick note. Many of the things that I need to make sure tonight, you may already know because you're well connected to the city. It might be just reminders or just like a quick prompt of like, hey, get it going, or if you have questions, then I can provide that information. That's the website to the city's feedback page. If there are ongoing projects in your area or any other parts of the city, because you are part of Greater Salt Lake, not just District 2, then you are welcome to go to that webpage and provide your feedback. We appreciate your input. Now, I'd like to remind you that the Public Lands is doing a once-in-a-generation opportunity to help Salt Lake City think about the future of Jordan River. Okay, the Emerald River Ribbon Action Plan will determine a community vision for the Jordan River corridor, and it will also provide a roadmap for the city to achieve that vision. Since its kickoff last year in July, they've been speaking to the community and stakeholders to understand the past and present desires of the river. Now, this is very important for you to take note because there will be workshops in March. So you can go to the next slide, please, which you can participate. I think they're entering into their second phase. Now, these slides are available for your council to post on the website. So if you want to take a photo of the QR code now or later, you're welcome to. But the workshops are on Wednesday, March 13th from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Sorenson Community Center. And then the other one is March 14th from 4 to 8 p.m. Mestizo Coffee House. If you're not able to participate, please do it online, because I know your time is limited and valuable. So next slide, please. Yes, the constructive conversations about homelessness will take place this Saturday. It will be from 2 to 4:45, Glendale Middle School. 2 to 4:45, 2 to 2:45 will be meet and greet. 3 to 4:30 p.m. will be small group conversation roundtable discussions about homelessness, constructive conversations, and then from 4:30 to 4:45, a summary of the discussion and next steps. So, excuse me, I know we've met before.
Jared.
Jared, that's right. Yes, thank you. So I would be interested in knowing more about your collaboration with the homeless person that you hired. But also if you attend this, it would be very productive and fruitful, right? Because you were already engaged in that process of.
So may I ask why you're doing these on Saturdays?
So I'm not the host. It is between West Side Coalition and the Salt Lake City Human Rights Commission. I'm not hosting it, but I'm passing on the information. So. Yeah. Do you want me to speak to it? Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So we have a few flyers here. My printer didn't want to print very many out, but you can always take a picture of it. But this is happening Saturday. At Glendale Middle School. We are inviting people from all different backgrounds and different stakeholders. We will have people who are currently homeless or have experienced homelessness in the past. We will have service providers, advocates, general public, residents, and we're going to be engaging in conversation that's facilitated, and it's about speaking from our own experience. So it's not a time to vent and to blame and because those people, the people who, I don't think government officials are going to be there. It's about our community trying to increase understanding and come up with some ideas for how we can possibly make things better between us all, or make the situation better. So they're respectful conversations, and it's about trying to learn from one another and speaking from our own experience. Anyway, but you'll also be able to find out all of the things that are being done to address homelessness from a lot of enabling organizations. And I think it'll be really informative, and also you might come away with a little increased understanding. And then that will help us if we, for the next event, we can hopefully come up with some solutions, but take the anger and the blame out of it and try to address this very complex problem. So it's a first step, and it's the Human Rights Commission and the West Side Coalition that have organized this. You're welcome to come, but you have to stay there for the whole time for the conversations from 3 to 4:45. If you want to go to the tabling portion, come at 2, and there's some food. Okay, I'll leave these right here. Did anybody have any questions about that?
Thank you. Next slide, please. So this grant is available up until March 3rd, which is this Sunday. Perhaps many of you already know about this, and if not, perhaps you can use an application or a previous draft of a grant that you've worked on that would apply for a food equity micro grant, which is to diversify or make available food in your community, right? Food access. So you would reach out to Maria Schwartz. There's the contact information. Yeah. I will improve on sharing this information sooner, just in case no one knew about it. So I know that this is coming up now, but then, yeah. So I'll improve on that.
March 3rd.
Yeah, is this Sunday, right? Yeah. Good. Okay, thank you. Love Your Block. Who's applied for Love Your Block grants here in Poplar Grove? Yes. What did you do with Love Your Block?
Well, I was gonna do a sculpture that was to be on the 4th and 9th.
Oh, nice.
Then I got lost.
Okay,
Other brands came.
got it. Love Your Block has 2 years since its implementation at the mayoral initiative. They are present to support the West Side to unite the efforts of the city and community to support the, what is it? What's the right word I'm trying to use?
Like improvement.
Just
And it's by its purpose is to hopefully build sort of like some word pride in your community and sort of like encourage people to sort of get engaged and come up with projects that will like obviously leave better or for the better. Something that sort of West Side residents can sort of, kind of point to and be like, this is something that we created not only for ourselves as a community, but also sort of so that other people can come and sort of enjoy sort of the things that we have to offer as well. And it's a really good program. You're super helpful and you're super engaged with you the entire time while you're undergoing the process.
Thank you. So this year they created 2 grants. There's a mini grant. Okay, so if you go to the QR code, it'll show it'll take you directly to the links for the Love Your Block website, and there are 2 grants this year. So it's a mini grant, which is $500, and it's like it's like right quick
Yeah, those are the
projects.
people. If you're going to do that, it's going to be something like an alleyway, some kind of like public space sort of like she said quick and
Yeah.
you can do a little bit like because part of the grant is that you will be doing interviews and you will be sort of putting together sort of a presentation, in the beginning, before, during, and after kind of projects. The big grant is to get those critical areas up, right? Like you don't want to go through the bureaucracy of sort of cleaning an alleyway.
Right, get permits and
get the permits and everything. So
yes,
it's kind of like a quick run through, which is
correct.
Super nice.
And you could get like a bin for the garbage for the trash.
Yeah, it depends
So
on
they
the.
use their resources for what they currently have, and then a lot of it really does fall onto the grant submitter to sort of find access to those. So like part of the money could go into getting sort of like trash bins and things to clean up alleyways, and then now, let's say Joe Smith now has sort of the tools to do so. And then you're supposed to like get sort of community members involved, volunteer work to participate within your project. So you almost kind of like build a network. You're like, okay, so now this Saturday with this grant money, we cleaned, let's say, the alleyway behind Chapman. Like that. Now let's start. Maybe we can start networking on doing other alleyways. And have supplies, and you already have a volunteer network. Now let's just kind of keep it going first,
So it definitely is resident centered. Like it's supporting the community, the resident doing most of the work. With the support of the city, of this is how you do the process of implementing the project. So mini grants, which have been in place for 2 years, providing up to $2,000 to support large scale initiatives such as community tool sales, public art, baking, lot activation and stuff. The Community Action Fund, that's new, allocates funds for shovel-ready and quick-hit projects, emphasizing activities like neighborhood cleanup, alleyway projects, and exterior home repairs. That's up to 500. That's the new line that they created this year, the Community Action Fund cap. Yeah, quick hit. Thank you. So those are the application dates, March 5th and 14th. So that's kind of coming up soon too. Next slide, please. Okay, so transportation has a 20 miles per hour speed limit reduction campaign that most of you are new or knowledgeable about this, that the city has reduced the speed limits to 20 miles per hour. It's been implemented for a year and a half. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now, we all know why the reduction in speed limit is important, right? And this is what surprised me, that in 20 seconds, so speed limits on local roads add only 20 seconds to your commute. So it's the same amount of time as properly washing your hands, melting butter in the microwave, giving an elevator. Wow. And posting selfie, folks. So that's the benefit of having the city have overall reduction in speed limit. Okay. So just wanted to emphasize that. And I know that transportation might want to add more to that. Okay, next slide, please. This is what you're talking about tonight. I'll pass that on to you guys. Next slide, please. Thank you. So, remind me of your name. Rod. So you asked me a question about solar panels. Why is it Salt Lake City? Right. Yeah.
So liquid solar panels on top of the warehouse would be a great place.
Great question. And I'm like, oh, well, how am I involved? For me, how am I going to investigate this? So, a week later, we received an email. Let's see. Let me check this out. So there's a grant available. And hold on. Where is it? Oh. Well, anyways, Salt Lake City is partnering up with, I believe it's Utah Clean Energy. Have you heard of this? Of the grant? Well, no, grant. So Salt Lake City is partnered up with Utah Clean Energy. And they, I think it was 2021 or 2022 when they were gathering data from the community about implementing solar districts, business, or just, on the west side, since air quality on this side is terrible, right? Much more than the east side or other locations. And so after getting the input, they implemented funding and they funded 3 local businesses on the west side. So it was, and these 3 businesses will be getting solar panels this year implemented, which is Rico Brands, M&K Automotive, and Salt Lake Barber and Culture Coffee. Now, applications are open this year for, I think, 2 or 4 more businesses that are in low to moderate income neighborhoods. So I brought the contact information. We can use space. Leave the business that you'd like to reach out, or I can give you the information so you can reach out to that.
Again, there's so much in the way of appreciation allowances and stuff and tax advantages just to go out there. This could be a part of the tax advantage that they get. That's how they can afford to keep them vacant for so. And I got another issue on the west side. There's a Salt Lake City, we have a treasure with the mountains, the canyons, the trails and stuff like that. Plus on the west side, we had, the duck club.
which is just, they preserve the area of the west side, which is really beautiful. Private property here, also out there, next to the prison. Kennecott has a ranch that they lease out to somebody, and they raise cattle out there, and it's, an example of west side used to be, like, it's beautiful, they don't raise, and there's a trade-off with Kennecott. I don't know if people realize, you talk about air quality. You don't have a picture. And I describe, the horrible air quality on the west side, windy days. And I think it was misrepresenting the air quality name that they presented it as coming from the Great Salt Lake. If you don't have, motorcycles and ATVs out there on the dry area of Great Salt Lake, it's kind of like a plague, and it doesn't get broken up. The air quality on the west side is heavily impacted by the wind on the tailings. This is an Alafine Rose district. It's 80th west. 100, this is for you. It's incredible. It goes over I-80. It's a huge problem here, and it's never addressed. People out there, and planting out here, and solve this. So it's a trade-off. Maybe I'll keep my mouth shut, or other people keep their mouth shut. They can do aggressively plant, a lot more, grasses and stuff like that, and leave that ranch because it's owned by Kennecott, and they're surveying out there, and that's just like a treasure of a bygone era, in Salt Lake City, which it's beautiful grassland, and if you go out there, you can see it's part of. But it's right adjacent to the duck run. You can actually see, great herons, bald eagles, red-legged hawks, all sorts of hawks and stuff too. And it's pretty.
Fantastic information. I will take note of this. I did do my research, and I know you're interested in air quality, as mentioned, many of you do. So I'll bring in more information about what the city department about air quality.
One of the huge walls, and it's right out there in the mesa. That's it goes all the way from 80th west, all the way to salt air, and the amount of dust that's down in the air. And the tribune, it's like I believe they had a picture of it, and it wasn't up the Great Salt Lake, and it was an assumption.
Sorry, I have a respect for others. Continue with me. We'll bring the information. So I will pass out information to businesses district. So the other thing that the Department of Sustainability has an exchange program that will start in April, and that's landscaping equipment. They are giving rebates for you to exchange your gas. Yeah, gas powered motor lawnmower. If they could give you what, a $500 rebate for you to purchase an electric one. Or if you don't want to recycle old equipment, they give you a $50 rebate to purchase a new electric lawnmower. So we will be doing canvassing in March to reach out to the community for this opportunity. So just wanted to let you know about that. Next slide. Yep. This is our updated Good Neighborhood Guide. Just wanted to let you know that we have an updated version. I will send it to the council, and if you're interested, I can print for next month for next time I come for you to take home. And then the next slide is just my information, contact information. Please call me, text me, email me. And I know that that I may forget at times to follow through with you all. It's and the only reason, and it's not an excuse, but the reality is that I get so many information or requests that even if I document, I sometimes lose sight of certain things. So if I owe you information or anything, please tell me, Alicia, what's going on with this? And it helps me say, oh, you're right. And then, give you the information. Because I know that did I speak to you about ESL classes? You? Yep. Yeah. And that's right. So I remember now. So see, sorry. But I have this one. That's it. Unless
Great.
Yeah, I dropped the ball. Sorry.
Well, don't we all? So if you need to follow up with her, you got her info, and she's open book, ready to either answer or forget. So
Yeah. Okay.
awesome. So in a second, we will actually be turning the time over to Alejandro. Okay, awesome. So Alejandro, the floor is yours. If you have any updates that you'd like to share with us.
I do have a few updates. Thank you for using a good photo of me. I appreciate whomever made it. I just wanted to give you a couple updates. Obviously, while the legislative session is in session, time is kind of crazy. Yesterday, from going to potentially testify on a bill related to baseball, we ended up not testifying and finding out more problems with this bill, and then coming back to a West Side Coalition meeting. The day before, I was at the Capitol until 10 p.m. I know the mayor left at midnight, and Councilmember Petro left at midnight. The Capitol. It is kind of a lot, and it's hard to keep up sometimes. But I just wanted to give you a couple updates about the things that we've been working on and the Capitol. Obviously, the baseball bill, which is House Bill 562. You probably, maybe some of you read my comments in the newspaper. I started talking about how problematic the original bill was, and it was very problematic for the city, losing all the taxes, losing all the land authority, losing all the power and the say about how this could affect the city, could affect the area. It was a very big disappointment to hear so many good things about how this bill was going to shake up, and then seeing a bill that was an inland port bill. It really was a copy of the original inland port bill. They just changed the titles. With a lot of work from the city, and certainly it wasn't me who did most of the work. We were able to fix big parts of this bill. Still some problems with it, but now the time to work together is here. The bill passed today, so it's a reality. There is uncertainty about if there is ever going to be a baseball team coming in. But certainly the state has built the framework to divert taxes immediately on this issue. So we're going to make the best out of it. And I will come to you with updates on how this works and how we can all make our voice heard about this issue. And just wanted to give you a quick update on homelessness and its funding. The state is debating right now about how much to fund on homelessness. The Office of Homelessness for the state is requesting $150 million for several years commitment. The state basically funded 12 million, which is very problematic for all cities like ours. So if you can make your voice heard about funding homelessness correctly, funding the resources that host cities. Salt Lake City is a host city. We obviously host a lot of shelters, and we need a lot of mitigation fund for that, and all sorts of need on that aspect, and we need our request funded. So that is if you can help, our legislators are great. The legislators that represent our area. I hope that if you have family in other parts of the state, if you know other legislators, please reach out to them. And you can also reach out to legislators that don't represent you here, and tell them how much we need this funding. And it's the state who's debating this in this next couple of days until Friday. Friday is the last day of the legislative session, and many things happen at the last possible minute. Sometimes, many times, not so many good things. So wanted to keep you an update, give you an update as far as the budget goes. Salt Lake City's budget, we're going to start discussing the budget in the next few months. The mayor is working on what to propose for us to debate. It will be very useful to comment on public meeting. This Tuesday at 7 p.m. is the next council meeting. 7 p.m. There is a link. You can comment online, or you can show up in person to tell us what issues you want funded. Myself and Victoria, we want to make a big push this year to have a police squadron dedicated, a new police squadron dedicated for the Jordan River. And the only job is to go up and down the river 24/7. So have it fully funded to add police officers, not to move police officers, and not to have the Jordan River be an afterthought. So we want to push for that. We already told the administration we hope to see that in their budget, but if we don't see it in their budget, we'll add it to their budget. So it is a hope for ours that we have ice in the river. It needs to be safe for everybody. And it really isn't at the moment, and it's very concerning. So that's one of the things that we're going to be working on in the next few months. Certainly, I know that all of you have different thoughts. Would love to hear those in public meeting. It is important for all the council members to hear you also directly. So if you have any interest in commenting on the council meeting, let me know. I can send you the link. I can make the link available to you if you would like to show in person. There is a lot of people coming to comment these days. Certainly there is other issues that they're bringing to the table, some international issues that they want the council to take action on. But yeah, that really is my update. I don't know if there's any questions that I could answer. I don't know how far we are in your agenda, Council Chair.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Just make sure if you have a question, make sure you're just speaking really loudly or coming up closer if you are a quiet talker.
I just wanted you to know that the West Side Coalition, so Dan Strong, wrote a letter on behalf of the West Side Coalition imploring them to fund the homelessness budget that was requested by the governor. So we got that letter out, and just wanted to let you know that happened today.
Yeah, thank you. I did see the letter. I also saw the letter about the MLB. I appreciate everybody's voice. Let me say this, and I said it in the meeting, and I know, Charlotte, you were there. If someone comes to promise us something, let's trust and verify, and let's have it in writing. So when anybody tells you we're going to do something, let's make sure there is a document that says that, and a legally binding document. And I am going to put upon myself and my team here at the city to collect all the promises made. And I want to make sure about this future stadium and future development. Let's hold everybody accountable. And whatever is our piece, whatever is their piece, whatever is the state's piece, let's make sure that when they promise something, we don't get too excited about renderings and gorgeous things like that, because it's easy to get excited about renderings and promises, because there is a lot in there that is needed. There is a lot of investment needed. Right now, I am hopeful. So I appreciate the West Side Coalition and your input, and those letters we are already circulating the letters. So thank you.
Great.
Yeah. I have a comment too about funding the police force for the Jordan Trail. Just tell them that they're going to spend almost $1 billion of tax money. They might as well put something to like police the Jordan Trail that's going to run through that stadium, right? Like, it's probably in their best interest to like wanting to get that cleaned up.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Obviously those stakeholders, the ones that own the land and the ones that are going to put their own money and the ones that are going to make a lot of money out of this, are interested in making this section of the trail and the riverfront inviting and safe. What we need to make sure as the city is that this issue is not pushed to the other parts of the river. And this is why we are concerned, is we want to make sure that we have a say or hold some sort of power to push them, and to push them to have something to collaborate and work together. If anybody has the power to do anything, let's envision a piece of the river that is fantastic and everything else not great. So I'm preparing for the worst, and this is why we want to do this together. I mean, in the meeting yesterday, they said we want to push the city to do things, and I was like, okay, yes, with what money? You're taking my money to do, for policing. So it really is important for them to be part of the solution. And you're right. I think that they are incentivized to fix those 2 blocks of the river trail. What my incentive is to make sure that the whole river trail is protected. So I think we have the funding and the budget. I guess we're going to find out the numbers in the next couple of days, projection numbers, but to fund a river police, a squadron that just focuses on the river.
Great. Well, thank you for that. If you have other comments for Alejandro, we also have, what was your name again? Sergio, you're here from the council, right? So we have Sergio, the intern here, a physical person that you could pin down afterwards if you want to face to face with him.
Please don't pin down the intern. Thank you.
No, but just wanted to recognize that we have a physical presence here as well as the virtual presence. If you have a question, we just want you to come closer so that we can hear it.
Have you considered variable speed on the program for I-15? They consider the sound barriers and pollution. And if we had Bangerter Highway's got a 55-mile-an-hour speed limit, put a 55-mile-an-hour speed limit to protect us. Somebody should put that in there as a variable that was not in the template. They just said, oh, in another, so many years there'll be reduced pollution. But it is, that's just pollution that's, air and sound. Another thing is, how's the other side, village coming? Because I go by there, I've been following and monitoring that too. It doesn't seem that the work that's being done is adequate enough to house the great Fantasyland proposal, that was made as to what that should be. I got questions, many questions about the other side village that I'd like to ask. And how many tens of thousands of dollars have been spent just to get all of that dirt, more dirt brought in, and in a very limited area. And the final thing is to realize the city has the Jordan on the canal, the surplus canal. The city has a sign that says it's the Jordan River.
Okay, well,
quickly, I heard an update on the village. They are doing the remediation on the site, and they are very close to get some pots in there. Once the remediation of land, this is a landfill. I mean, it used to be a landfill, so there needs to be, and the city used to put a lot of the green waste in it. So it's very squishy, and it's not great for putting things in it. So they had to do a lot of remediation, and this is them doing this, and they need to get that taken care of. That's what the update I heard. The next step is to build some switch construction on that, but they already have several pots ready to move in. Once they can do that piece, they can start moving the pots. That's the last update I heard about that.
We'll see about having Alejandro. We'll see about having an update from them later. We did have them come in at the end of 2023 in October, and so we'll probably have them back for a more of an update on that.
Thank you.
Great. Any other questions or concerns that to express? If so, well, thank you, Alejandro, for the updates. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Let's see, exit full screen mode. I don't know how we got that pen. I'll switch to shared content. Okay, there we go. All right. I think Sean, are you still online?
I am. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah. So the floor is yours. Did you want to unshare? Did you have something to share? Screen
Yeah,
share?
I've got just a PDF to share quick if I could share.
Perfect.
Let me know when you can see it.
They're good. We've seen some tax help.
That's right. So I'm just going to go through. Hi, everyone. I'm Sean Martin with the Sorenson Unity Center. And I'm just going to talk for just a couple of minutes of current and upcoming things that are happening. I missed last month. I know we took the break over the holidays. But we've got volunteer income tax assistant. This is free tax help going through the middle of April. There are the days and the times. You do need to make an appointment. You can come in and we have a kiosk that you can make an appointment, or 2-on-1 will take appointments, or it's taxhelput.org. They're great. And they're there to help out, but make an appointment and then come on in. We have classes in Spanish and computers going on right now. We also have our open computer lab that's always open, and there's always people to help out. If you're printing, scanning, need help with public access, come on into the computer lab. And there's Spanish classes going on with basic ones right now. Planned Parenthood has a teen council they're recruiting for. So if you know any teens out there, they meet Monday nights at Sorenson. And it's a community-based group with the teen council, and they do great activities through Planned Parenthood and other agencies. We still have folkloric dance happening Monday and Tuesday nights. They come and practice. Welcome to come out and join in or watch. And they're West Side, Glendale-based mostly folks who perform all over the city, but they're still there Monday and Tuesday nights. Wellness Bus is still there Tuesday nights, 3 to 7 o'clock, free, complimentary diabetes health screening and healthy. They have health counselors, the big bus on the south patio every Tuesday from 3 to 7. Also with Planned Parenthood, there's a teen mom program. So if you know anybody, friends, family that have teens that are mothers, this is every Tuesday night, a free program again. They do provide childcare for that hour and a half, 2 hours. And they usually provide dinner and support services and a little bit of a stipend. We have all this information at Sorenson Unity. I'll also email all this to Daniel. Citizenship classes are restarting. They took a little bit of a Christmas break. These will start March 21st. Again, free. This is IRC, International Rescue Committee. Come on in, and they will have mentors and volunteers to prepare people for citizenship, whatever point they are along the process. If they're early on or getting ready to take the test tomorrow. That's Thursday evening, 6:30 to 8:30, starting again in March 21st. Mundi is still going there. I think I saw Charlotte. She was a Mundi, was a Mundi, always a Mundi. They're in the middle of their session right now, but they're Saturdays from 10 to 2 o'clock or so. Again, free, no charge. They're doing kids and adults. After the spring programs end, they'll do another one in the summer. So these will come up again, but you're welcome to come in and talk to the instructor on that. This one-time events, we have Utah Presents is doing Samba Fogo and Bamba Marile on March 12th, 6 to 9. Again, this is all free, open to the public, to the community. They're doing drumming workshops, body percussion, and then a jam session in the black box. Should be fun. All welcome to come. Don't need registration, don't need to RSVP. The teen program at Sorenson is recruiting always. This is the Spanish flyer. I threw it in there. Anyway, that's a free program. Afternoons, 2 to 6 o'clock. They're at Glendale Library. They're at Sorenson Multicultural. They're at Northwest Recreation, and they're also at Central City. Come on in again. There's flyers, and we can give you email and contact information to get teens registered. No charge on this. Family Fair Park at the fairgrounds is also part of Youth and Family. They're doing health workshops, financial workshops. I wanted to put this in here. These are free, open to the public as well. And they're right in Northwest multi-purpose center, right next to Northwest Rec Center, the county. This is just our general March calendar. I just wanted to throw it up there. I know there's a lot on the agenda. Happy to answer any quick questions. I can send this. There's other things going along. The pool is open more. I know Northwest's pool is under construction, so those water aerobics classes have moved to Sorenson. The pool's hours are longer now. Fitness is now open at 6 in the morning, and they're starting some other physical Zumba and other classes as well. So if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer. And again, I'll email this to Daniel. I don't think we have hard copies there, and hopefully it'll be at the next meeting.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Sean. Yeah, he'll email that over. We'll include that in the recap email that gets sent out. So again, if you don't get those emails, add yourself to the mailing list. If you go on a website, you can get added onto our monthly mailing list about these meetings and all the fun that we have after that. So I don't think we have any other announcements from NeighborWorks or from Neighborhood House, but we are fans of both of those. And
3 Fridays, 3, right?
yeah, they're having a special meeting on Friday with the what do you call it? Governor's wife? It's like the first lady of the state.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Check it out on the website, I'm sure. Well, it's up to them to show up and be part of the mix. But all right. So as far as our neighborhood updates, so we'd like to thank all those that have presented so far. We just like to cover that the Poplar Grove, you can go there. Yeah, the community council is made up of leadership here. Anyone that lives in the neighborhood of Poplar Grove is welcome to be on the board. Like I've told everyone that's tried to join, we will take as much or as little time as you have to give. So we have many board members who can't go to all the meetings and can't do it, but what they can do, we will take. So if you have any desire to be in a more of a leadership capacity to help, we will tailor the amount of commitment you have to the amount of time you can commit. But we do hold the annual elections every March. We have a few people that have joined mid-year that will be voting in. We also have the executive board, which consists of a chair, a vice chair, a secretary, and a treasurer. Each of those roles are 2-year rotating positions offset by the years. And so this year, the vice chair and the secretary are up for elections. So if you have any desire of being on the board, or we'll also talk to those that are on the board currently if they have a desire to have any of these leadership positions. Please reach out to me or Marissa. You can reach out to anyone that's on the board, but I'm talking now, so I'll just say myself. So let me know if you have any desire to help out. If you want to help but don't want to be on the board per se, we will take help there as well. So you don't have to be an official member to help out in different things. Our big event that we do every year is Groove in the Grove, which happens in September of this year. And we can always use extra hands, even if it's just to help out for that event in whatever capacity you can help beforehand or at the event. Or after wherever you can help, we will gladly take it. But we want to make sure that this was announced because at our next council meeting next month, we will hold a session of the meeting will be dedicated to holding elections for that. Any questions? Reach out after, not right now. Next slide.
If it wants to advance.
Yeah, we've talked about this like 3 times, but this is the meeting is this Saturday, so we can go on to the next one. We were also given a notice about a event being hosted by the Utah Pacific Island Health Coalition on Thursday, March 14th, which will be before our next meeting, but it's a health night. It's going to be held at the Sorenson Center, so this will be in the recap as well if you'd like to get more info on that.
Google Slides hates me. It hates me. Okay. Okay, there we go.
Well, we just always like to remind everybody that as a community council, we are often approached by the city for different types of community organizational input, whether it's a rezone for a new apartment building or a new law or something that comes out. Because of the volunteer nature of our organization, we're kind of limited in how much we can get out to you. So we put these up on our website. If you go to poplargroveslc.org, under the news tab is a little bit on the organizational input. And when stuff comes across our board, we throw it up on there. If there's a neighborhood complaint, the best thing, each request for input has instructions about where to put that input in. So if it's from the building, whatever, it'll have information about how to do that. Usually there's a 45-day period after a notice comes out to get community input. So we'd like to just always keep reminding you to check that out on the website, so that if there's something that is, in your neighborhood and you have an opinion about it, contact those people and let them know. If you let us know, we just do the same thing. We go to the same channels to contact them. So you save a step and you're more efficient if you just head there directly. We like to remind that I double checked with Utah Slim that they still are holding the open mic nights at the Sugar Space every first and third Sunday. So it's just an opportunity. If you don't have anything to share over the mic, you show up and listen to other people. They have some great performances that go on, and it's a good time to create some community building right here in our neighborhood. We wanted to thank the Salt Lake City Arts Council for they are going to be taking part of the meeting at the end, but the refreshments that we had were from them, so our little council didn't have to get anything out. And then one other thing we wanted to mention, I don't think we have a slide for it, but we don't have momentum on here. I didn't put that in there, so I forgot. We just want to add that on the website we've added a new page as well under connections, I think.
Yeah.
Basically, we are doing a community highlight of different businesses in our neighborhoods. And so the first one is Momentum Recycling. I was just trying to see if I can, it's actually under the Connect tab. There's a Poplar Grove Spotlight. And can you just pull it up on a...
Yep.
On that. So we just wanted to, we like to appreciate Emily, who's taken the head on connecting us with different businesses in the community. And so Momentum Recycling is one of our supporters. They help sponsor as well our Groove in the Grove, but they are a local company that is, we want to make sure that we're highlighting the good things that are happening right here in our community. So if you just go to our website, it'll be underneath the tab that says Connect. And you can see we're going to be adding to this page each month that we have our meetings with other businesses. So right now there's only one, but as the months go on, we'll highlight other ones that are doing good things around here. So we want to, shop local, support local. So I just want to bring that to your attention. We're making posts on we shared it on Facebook as well, but we wanted to do a shout out. So thanks, Momentum.
Outreach, and there's a set of like 4 questions in English and Spanish. Some can go out.
Awesome.
How will we get that to you? My email is
Emily@poplargroveslc.org.
For right notification.
Yeah. So just if you have that, or if you sent it over to info, if you send it to somebody, we'll get it over to her because we don't want to deal with it. So so we'd like to just mention that before we move on to our public presentations. So we have first up Makaylah, you're online, right?
She's online.
Yes, I am.
Awesome. So the floor is yours. Thank you.
Awesome. I am going to be moving through slides pretty quickly, so I can actually share if that's maybe easier.
Sure. I will stop sharing.
Okay, it's yours.
Great. I just want to start off by saying thank you all for having me tonight. My name is Makaylah Maponga. I'm a planner with Salt Lake City Public Lands. I'm here tonight to talk about the Emerald Ribbon Action Plan and the Jordan River, which has already come up a couple times tonight. So it's great that it feels relevant, that there's some interest in the Jordan River and its future. So the Emerald Ribbon Action Plan is somewhat of a master plan that the city began in July of last year. It encompasses a couple different things, and tonight I'm just going to go through a quick overview of what the project is, what we've done so far, and what's coming up in the near future. Everything that I'm going to be going through tonight kind of captures the work that was done from July to December of last year. And then everything that I'm going to show tonight is available online at emeraldribbonplan.com. You can see everything that we've done there, all of our full reports, and they're translated into multiple languages. So the Emerald Ribbon Action Plan is, again, a really fancy way of talking about the future of the Jordan River and the plan that we're putting together for the river in terms of really 3 areas. The first being a collective community vision. So that's really typical of what a master plan process is. That's the community engagement, talking to people and seeing what they want and coming up with one collective dream for what the Jordan River will be in the future. The second aspect of that, which kind of turns this into an action plan rather than a master plan, is that this will be paired with a list of projects to actually execute that vision, and that will guide the funding that was allocated in the 2022 general obligation bond for parks, trails, and open space. So a total of $9 million was allocated to Jordan River specific improvements, and so the outcomes of this plan will actually inform how we spend that money. And then the third major outcome from this plan will really be maintenance and operations guidelines. We all know that this is a really huge struggle with the river and the parks and open spaces along it right now, is that things fall into disrepair and then they don't get fixed over time. And then even when a nice new investment comes, there's not any plan or funding to maintain it over time. So this plan will also provide a lot of recommendations for our internal staff and like guidelines for how we can continue to maintain things moving forward. So the plan itself covers the entirety of Salt Lake City's segment of the Jordan River. So that's 2100 South, the bottom part of Glendale Golf Course, which you see on the right side of the screen, to the 2100 North, which is the regional athletic complex and the city boundary there. The process is really in 3 phases. The first was all about reviewing past plans, getting out on the river, and getting to understand what people feel and think about the river today, and spreading awareness about this as a plan. Phase 2, which is what we're in right now, we're developing guiding principles for what the framework of the plan should be, and we're also developing concept alternatives. So you'll see some really cool images that offer different ideas of what the future of the river could look like. We're going to do a really big engagement period this March, get a bunch of feedback on what people like and don't like for the future of the river. And then in phase 3, we'll be consolidating all of that feedback into the final vision and then the list of recommendations. So like I said, we started in July of last year. Phase 1 wrapped up around late fall. Right now, with a series of public meetings, we're right now kind of nearing the middle end of phase 2. And then the plan is anticipated to complete around the end of 2024. We have spent quite a bit of time out on the river itself and seeing the current condition that it's in. We've walked, biked, and canoed the river. We reviewed a number of different planning efforts that have already happened. So we're aware of kind of everything that has been done, and the effort here is to make sure that we're not duplicating the same efforts, and that this really is a document and a plan that is applicable and actionable for the future. In the last 6 months, we've held a number of focus groups. I believe we've done 14 focus groups so far with various community members and stakeholders. We also have 2 advisory groups, our technical advisory group and our community advisory group. of which we have a couple representatives from the Poplar Grove Community Council. Thank you to Dan and Jason for your representation there. And then we also had our series of public workshops in November. Through those different avenues, we've spoken with about 350 people so far. And again, this phase was really just about spreading word about the plan and getting an idea of how people feel about it so far, where the major areas are for improvement, and just understanding general perception. And based on what we've heard, we know that kind of the emerging themes of Salt Lake City's community is dreaming of a well-maintained natural and cultural sanctuary. So that again goes back to that element of maintenance and making sure that we can take care of anything that's done here. Secondarily, a vibrant community destination. People want to see more things to do, both in the water and adjacent to the river, and a place that fosters long-term multi-generational use. And this one was really awesome because so many of the people that we spoke to really talked about how they remember as kids spending time at the river, whether that was through school or with their families. And so although that there's a lot of concern about safety and cleanliness on the river now, there really is so much love for the river, and there's a lot of really fond memories, and there's a desire to get back to that place where you can have families there and you can bring your kids and grandkids. So that was a summary of kind of our engagement findings. The other half of phase one was just, like I mentioned, plan review, just getting into the data and understanding what the demographics are, what the soil conditions are like, what plant communities are there. And so that for that, we have an existing conditions report. As we looked at the river, we really felt that you could understand it from two different lenses. One being it's a really great place for nature. It's an ecologically valuable place that many plants and animals call home. But at the same time, it's the heart of the West Side in many ways, and there's so much cultural diversity and value in having the river run right through so many of these communities. And so we kind of took these two lenses, and through them, we felt like there was a connection from the perspective of care. So we steward and care for the ecological health in the river, and in return, nature engages and sustains human health and well-being. And so through that lens, we came up with 6 different areas. They're context, communities, connectivity, capacity, activity, and awareness. And these are the 6 subject focuses in the existing conditions report. So just as I mentioned before, I just talked about our engagement summary and our existing conditions report. Those are fully available online at emeraldribbonplan.com. We have a really awesome snapshot here that covers what is in our existing conditions report. It's a 2-page kind of one like back and front. And we have this translated into English, Spanish, Samoan, Tongan, and Chinese. And then our full engagement report and existing conditions report are available in Spanish. So just a quick look at what's next. Alicia was already a little bit ahead of me, but first I'll go into our guiding principles. These were, again, based off of the engagement that we heard in phase 1, and they were evaluated by our community advisory committee. And these will really provide the framework for the plan itself. So each one of these will be almost a category for our recommendations, and we want to make sure that every plan and policy and recommendation is accomplishing one of these 5 principles. So they are to celebrate the rich ecological and cultural diversity of the corridor, connect the corridor into surrounding streets, trails, and waterways, cultivate collective care of the corridor, restore and enhance the river ecosystem as a peaceful refuge, and activate the corridor to create a safe and vibrant destination. So we are coming up right on our second series of public workshops. There are March 13th at the Sorenson Unity Center from 4 to 8, and then March 14th at the Mestizo Coffee House. These are from 4 to 8, which sounds really intimidating, but it's really designed to spend maybe between 15 and 30 minutes of your time, and then you can just drop in at any point. We'll be providing food, and we'll also have Spanish interpreters on site. And in addition to that, if you can't make it to either of these public workshops, we will also have a survey available with our concepts online starting March 1st. That's this Friday. So you'll be able to take an online survey weighing in on the concepts that we've come up with for the future of the river. So that's my presentation. I can leave this up and I can take any questions.
Great. Any questions?
We just have to do our part, right?
This
Attend or fill out survey.
only tangentially your business, Makaylah, but do you know if there's going to be an Earth Day cleanup on the river this year?
There will be. I can pull up that information and see if I can find it, but there is a cleanup this year.
Great.
Makaylah, this is Marissa. If you find that information and you just email it to me, I can include it in our meeting recap for everyone.
Perfect. Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Well, awesome. It's such a good presentation. We don't have any questions. So we appreciate your time and keeping us in the loop on that. So thank you so much.
Thank you again for your time. And Marissa has my email if any questions do come up.
Great. It'll definitely be in the recap. So if you have any other concerns, don't delete that as spam. All right. So next up, we have the other presenters, right? It's you guys. I'll let you decide how you want to introduce all the team there for the 400 South Viaduct project.
And then so my name is Renato Gonzalez. I am with the Public Art Program with the Solid City Arts Council, and it's my pleasure to be here with you all tonight. Today I want to introduce you to my colleague Mary, the transportation project manager for Forecast South. But mostly important, we have our commission artist Laura Haddad and Tom Drugan. We're going to be talking to you about a project. We have those poster boards right behind you. What it is typically our public art program takes an objects, commission approach, where we commission an artist specifically to create a sculpture or a mural, and we install it and we go on. This project, we're actually doing things a little bit different. What we're doing is we are commissioning Laura and Tom to help us think about the 400 South Viaduct all the way from 300 West to 900 West, which is the entrance to Poplar neighborhood. We are asking them to help us think how the viaduct should be, what it should look like, and make it an art-centered project. Because of this important viaduct connects the Solid City's east and west side, we wanted to focus and take an approach and really do a meaningful engagement with west side communities. This is the first time that they are, not the first time that they're here in town, but the first visit in which they are engaging directly with communities. They leave tomorrow. So let us know your thoughts. Anything worse. So yeah, thanks for having us.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah, so just we wanted to come and start off by just introducing ourselves. So Laura and I are artist partners, and we've been doing public art for over 20 years now. And our approach is very site specific. So we're you can see from this big image slide here that all our work is very different. It's very based in place and community. So we find inspiration from the people and the stories they tell us, and then also the site conditions. We often look to have the art activated by natural phenomena. So that could be like sun activated, different times of the year. We strive to kind of tap into seasonal changes when possible. And then in a lot of our work, where it's appropriate, we'll use night lighting to kind of activate the artwork into the evening. So the artwork's always kind of dynamic and changing, and especially in public places where people are experiencing the artwork at different times of day and night, repeatedly over many years, they can find something new and fresh and interesting in the artwork, and ideally kind of tell a story about the place. That's kind of like our true art, kind of connecting place through art is kind of our bigger lens. If you want to, next one.
If it'll let me.
Trail that'll be multi-use or for any kind of rolling device, walking device, but primarily bicyclists and pedestrians sharing a 12 to 14-foot wide trail that will go from 900 west to 300 west. So the art is very functional, incorporated with that, and the transportation aspect was really first and foremost. You can go to the next slide, please. So we've been really thinking about how art can activate this trail and thinking about just metaphors for it. We came up with this idea as art as a magnetic field that would attract people. So if we think about the viaduct in particular as the center of the trail, being this force field that's pulling people towards it and across it, this is what we want the art to do. Next slide. So we have a few goals for the project. This was an early diagram that we did, another kind of metaphor thinking about stitching together the west and east sides and helping to unify the city as a whole. We want the art to be memorable and welcoming and to be an experiential piece that enhances the character of the trail, but also the surrounding area. And then third, to make the art be something that causes traveling across the viaduct to be enjoyable, but also safe for people walking, biking, rolling, and driving. Next. So this is the conditions of the viaduct today. The trail will be on the south side. So this is this top image is with the highway to our back. So this crosswalk will be enhanced and will connect over to a trail that will be on the south side of the viaduct and connect all the way over to Pioneer Park and a block beyond. So the concrete barrier and the railing and the street lights are the edge of the trail. So we'll be looking at ways to either enhance or replace those, in addition to looking at delineators to separate the bike lane from the car lane to make it feel very safe and also inspiring and reflecting the community with the concepts. Next. These are the two ends of the trail. So on the top, the east end at Pioneer Park, the trail will also be on the south side here. So this will be also the bike and pedestrian, but here we'll be probably separating those two so it's not combined. And then on the west end at 900, the kind of the trailhead is right behind the white car. We too have been thinking about a sculpture there, some kind of like gateway, like a little like, welcome to the west side, but also welcome to this trail. So a two-way gateway. There will be new bike crossings on all 4 of these crosswalks and just some streetscape enhancements, as well as new plantings and paving on the trail.
Can you put in new businesses while you're at
it? Today, that was a very vibrant kind of town center with like a movie theater, shoe repair.
Long time ago.
Yeah, you can kind of imagine what such.
So that's getting the land space for those corners. They were looking for ideas for like things to actually build.
Oh, really? Developers were?
Well, yeah, I remember that I listened to Group in the Grove from like one of the tables we had there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a little long.
Yeah.
So the corner you talked about.
This one here.
Is the city, do they own that? Or are they acquiring that, or what's the?
City owns the southeast corner.
Okay. So that'll be a part.
The city is the owner of parcel. Yes. Yeah. Does everybody hear that? So the intersection, the corner that's just looks awful. That's owned by the city.
So their plans to come up to Where the restaurant commissary is, food truck.
Yes, kind of across the street.
What's the reserve stand up to? Okay.
Oh, it's in the it's a business that went out of business, what, 4 years ago, and it's been, it hasn't been used since, the driveway cracked up, the retail over it, it's got food trucks moved in part of the time. It stands, thanks. If I own that, it'd take about 2 months for the city to come and start giving me citation. It's just, I mean, that's what bothers me, is the website just to the city's attention and what? I mean,
Because we don't think.
because we don't yell out.
So I have a question. How does this all play into UDOT expansion of 515 and stuff like this?
Right, that part is not too much. This is going forward.
Good question. So is the viaduct getting like reduced in size, or is it gonna stay the same size?
No, we're gonna need our each travel lane, and there's also two foot shoulder, or quite a large shoulder, we're reducing that to 6 feet, and it's moving those, there's barriers for coming at this other.
Yeah, because it's going to pretty dangerous sort of route, I think every time when I drive home, it was either an accident or something.
So we're not changing the bridge, we're adjusting what's already there.
So I had a conversation. Your position, your car from the wrong side. Street, people are entering from the east to the west. That's where we need our recognition.
Over here?
Yes, Poplar Grove, and
Uh-huh.
whatever that is.
Yeah.
That's where we really need. Not on the other side, people leaving.
Yeah, well.
Well, it depends if we're talking about foot traffic and bike traffic.
Well, the trail is on the south side, so there will be crosswalks and bike lane enhancements, but there isn't really within the trail project, there isn't really the scope of work to do work there. We can do kind of like a master plan we recommend that in the future there be a gateway element here, but it won't be part of the trail construction.
But the trail, and
So it's only on the south side.
yeah, it's
Okay.
Entering
for people who are walking bikes, it's both directions on one side.
So the art's all there. Okay, got it.
Yeah, maybe we should kind of go through because maybe I'll help explain it. So I think we can skip through this, but we've been just looking at views of not only the trail, not only like the experience of the trail, the art as you're across the trail, that's also can you see it from different locations, so it becomes kind of a icon that makes you want to get up there and use the trail. So there are a lot of views. Looking at transportation connections. Okay, this shows the I think this one here.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the cross section on the viaduct. So currently there's a shoulder that ends about here and the traffic lanes start here. So these travel lanes will become narrower. This is the 14-foot wide trail. So we're not really adding a sculpture or anything like that. What we're doing is treating things like railings, light poles, paving, the lane delineators with an aesthetic eye. So it's a kind of a design art project. And so the goal is to make this trail feel very welcoming, very safe, but also kind of enchanting and makes you want to kind of go up and explore it. So anyway, it's that kind of dual sensibility of art and safety. Next slide. And then on the ground plane, so this would be similar to the cross section at 900, but also across the street from Pioneer Park. The trail will have some planting strip adjacent, so we're not sure how many plants will be in certain locations due to maintenance concerns, but there is an opportunity to create small little seating nodes
things for like shade canopies, maybe a sculpture. So that's in addition to the paving and the lights and the barriers that are up on the viaduct. So it's a little wider there. So next slide. So we've been gathering some precedents that Councilman talk about just for some of the things that we could do. And these are not proposals. These are just kind of like, other examples that other cities have done.
Yeah, so a couple ideas, some examples of lighting that they've done on other projects. So this is like taking the existing street lights and then adding an art element to those, so it kind of visually connects the entire space. Similarly, this is like light shooting through dichroic lenses, which kind of create light on the actual surface that you'd be traveling on. Other ideas are to do something, we wouldn't be able to do the entire bridge structure, but maybe a lighting element that kind of runs along it, like a ribbon of light or something like that. Even color changing light kind of cast upon the railing, so you can imagine this could be changing over time, and we could dial in how the color light is kind of changing with the different events or times a year or something. Next one. And the railing itself, so that's something we might be able to come in and kind of do some additions or change out the existing kind of picket system they have there. Inlaying cut metal panels that could cast interesting shadows. Maybe there's some storytelling with this. That's another example of sort of cut metal patterning. These are luminous acrylic materials, so the sunlight kind of activates. So during the day, you would have this big color field that would kind of change throughout the day. This one's a lenticular piece, not a great slide because you can't see the other direction, but it's one image on one side and then another image on the other side. So you would have this double experience as you move by the piece. Next one. So lane delineators. So this is there's some utilitarian functions that you'll see on other bike trails. Reflectors and dividers and candlestick delineators that kind of show the separation between the traffic and the trail. To actual concrete barriers. Those could become an art opportunity for murals and painting, as well as the pavement. There's different types of systems could become more sculptural. These are something that, these ones are just kind of a plastic material that could be hit without causing any damage to more substantial pieces such as this. So these are all things we're exploring. Next one. And of course, paving, this idea, this is an art project that has this kind of connects a series of transit stations for this etched rope piece. It's kind of thinking about the corridor as its entire length. Is there a connection, or maybe we can integrate stories or poetry or something that could be episodic along the trail. And then maybe in some special nodes or crosswalks, we could actually add like a thermoplastic coloring or something that's kind of customized to mark special places. Next one. And then at these, as Laura mentioned, in places where there's a little more room, we could actually create some seating nodes. These could be sort of artistically designed seating, or they could be more like sculptures that kind of act also as seating areas. And this idea of a canopy, this one is a material where the light comes through and actually casts color onto the ground plane when the sun is hitting it. So those are some other ideas for these special nodes or rest stops. Next. And we also have a survey. So so if people have ideas, or want to input, we have some qualitative questions that kind of help us understand more about the community. So please go online, fill this out, be super helpful, share this with everybody so they can weigh in too. And we'll take all this information.
Already on full blast on social media.
All right. So yeah, so we went through these earlier in the dialogue we had with the community and heard some really fascinating things. It was great for you that came out and helped us with that. So a great kickoff to understanding the community. And then next one, we get a little more into some quantitative kind of things, where are people going to, where are they coming from, does their use change at different times of day or different seasons? And then next one, and then some, kind of, pick the answers of things that maybe are barriers that prevent you from crossing, or things that are making it difficult to cross, or things that would make it, enhance the experience for you. So, and of course, the one we like is the art. So.
This was just to advertise the community open house that already happened.
Yeah.
So if you have a time machine,
Yeah. But the boards are still up, so if anybody, after we wrap up here, we'll hang out for a bit and we can chat some more.
awesome. So we like to think, do you have, a pertinent question?
Timeline. We'll be going through the design process with the full design team, engineers and everything for 2024. I think it's a hope to finish 100% complete, and then construction will be 2025. So yeah.
So is there like a timeline for survey fill-ups?
ASAP. We set a timeline.
So we can start working, but we want to also keep it open-ended, so we don't want to, let's just.
Yeah, and we'll be, Laura and I were just talking earlier, we'll come up with several concepts. We'll be back, probably early summer, share some kind of the progress we've made and see what you guys think. And, yeah.
Awesome. Great. Well, thank you both so much. Anything else to add from the Arts Council?
In the time for let's see here.
Yeah. So as we wrap up our meeting, just to close, we appreciate everybody being here. We always like to was there any other public matters that anyone needed to bring up that hadn't been addressed with someone? And just remember, me and Marissa can't really do anything. So if you have a complaint, hopefully you've connected to the people earlier.
We're gonna keep committee today, so if you want to be a volunteer, which there's a list of 600 of them, just contact me and I can add you to the volunteer list. Okay. And you should make it out. I'll remember that date. I think it's 20th.
Great.
April. Yeah,
Oh.
birthday. And then actually on the day, like, well, I don't remember. It's a Saturday. Oh. But it'll span from Monday to Lincoln. So if you want to be part of the activity, let me know and
Okay. Well, and with that, thank you everybody for the meeting. We're going to go ahead and conclude. And then if you have further follow-up question.
Tuesday.
Oh, the caucuses.
Democratic.
Sorry, I have one.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry. We can put that up onto the recap, but remember, Caucus Tuesday is coming up next week. So okay, all right. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll put in the update.
Yeah.
Thanks all those that have participated online.